On Authentic Ag, we start the year off with a conversation with the Vice President of the American Farm Bureau Federation, Scott VanderWal. He's a farmer from South Dakota. We also have features from several commodity groups and some ag information that you should know about. I'm Ken Rahjes. Stay with us for this edition of Authentic Ag.
Brought to you in part by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Kansas Farm Bureau, a grassroots ag organization representing the state's farm and ranch families since 1919, KFB.org. And the Kansas Wheat Commission, lending in the adoption of profitable innovations from wheat, online at kswheat.com.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on three main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
In agriculture news from agview.net, legislation to fund the government adopted by Congress before they left for the holiday break contains many wins for America's farmers and ranchers. Things like disaster aid, increased broadband access, and also many rural communities will benefit this legislation, including $1.5 billion in additional disaster aid, expanding recovery acres to those severely impacted by weather in 2018 and 19, full funding of the Farmer and Rancher Stress Assistance Network at $10 million, helping those struggling to cope with a tough year in agriculture, $550 million in grant funding for the Reconnect program. It'll help expand broadband access to historically underserved communities. Now, this will allow people living in these underserved areas to utilize new technologies to reach their customers, access precision agriculture technology, as well as just to connect to communities worldwide. It'll also retroactive expand the biodiesel tax credit to apply for 2018 and 2019 and extend it now through 2022. It'll bring stability to producers after years of debate in Congress. 10 biodiesel plants have halted production since the $1 per gallon credit expired back in 2017. Also, delaying the requirements for implementation of electronic logging devices, ELDs, on those livestock haulers through September 30th of the new year helps safeguard the welfare of livestock during transportation. Well, following that landslide vote to pass the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement in the House, the trade deal now heads over to the Senate. A vote's expected early in January, and it could be early in the month even. Senate Finance Chair Chuck Grassley announcing his committee intends to hold a markup on January the 7th. That's based on the expectation that the Senate will have received that legislation from the House of Representatives. Senate leadership expects they could quickly consider and pass the agreement within just a couple of days, but the Senate must start the year with impeachment trials. Then the vote will come near the end of the month if that takes place. Well, we continue to learn a little bit at a time about the U.S.-China Phase 1 trade deal. U.S. officials state the deal will include additional purchases of U.S. farm products of at least $32 billion over 2 years, and that's over the peak agriculture sales of $24 billion took place in 2017 before this trade war even started. Now, some analysts have been skeptical about the practicality of meeting that requirement, but Jim Wiesmeyer says that China purchases more than $124 billion in the ag goods off the world market, providing a whole lot of room to expand just how much comes from the U.S. Now, reports indicate that fully one-third of the 86-page agreement that discusses agriculture, but there are few details yet out to the public. One official in China said after the official signing of the deal, The context of the agreement will be made public. So we'll have more on these and other stories online at agview.net. Stay with us. Vice President of the American Farm Bureau joins us when we return.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agaminkansas.com.
Joining us is Scott VanderWal, who is Vice President of the American Farm Bureau Federation, also the State President for the South Dakota Farm Bureau. And Scott, first off, congratulations to the American Farm Bureau celebrating their centennial.
Yeah, thank you very much. What an opportunity, and it's going to be a good time to think back about all the way to 1919, when farmers and ranchers determined and realized that they needed to multiply and amplify their voices together with one big voice. And Farm Bureau has really done that over the years very successfully. And then along with that, we're going to be looking ahead. And when you think about the changes we've had the last 20 or 30, maybe 50 years, and think about where we're going to be in 30 or 50 years, how do we remain relevant? How do we do our best to stand up for agriculture and make sure that we're looking out for the interests as everything changes going forward?
And one of those issues is obviously the top of the mind, that is getting USMCA across the finish line.
Absolutely. Putting on a full court press on that. We're a little bit fearful if that goes past the first of the year, what could happen there. We get into an election year. It's very tough to get anything like that put through at that time. A little bit of good news a week or so ago, Chairman Peterson was quoted as saying that he believes that Speaker Pelosi's goal is to get USMCA passed by the end of the year, whether it's by the end of November or first part of December. That would be a great Christmas present for American agriculture to have that done, because once we get that done, we're certain of an agreement with our two neighbors, and then we can go to other countries around the world and with the confidence and the credibility that we've done a deal with our neighbors, and then go to these other countries and say, we want to work with you as well, and we're serious about it.
Is that the way the world kind of looks at it because of NAFTA and what most people say has been successful, that with this redo, that if we can come to this agreement, then it may be either easier or maybe better to do a lot of these bilateral agreements that the president's wanting?
Yeah, and President Trump has said he likes bilateral agreements better. But I think if we can't get that deal with Canada and Mexico finalized, it does take away our credibility a little bit. And it'd be a feather in President Trump's cap to be able to say he finalized that deal. Now, politically, I think there's some people that don't want to give him that victory and that credibility to go along with that. But we're saying, let's put politics aside. We think we've got the votes to do it, both sides of the aisle. Let's do the right thing and just get a bipartisan vote put together and do it.
Okay. Scott VanderWal, who is the Vice President of the American Farm Bureau Federation, is joining us. Let's take a break. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn. For livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if you're held liable in any type of accident, the judgment can claim your assets? Please give me a call so we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Scott VanderWal, the Vice President of the American Farm Bureau Federation, is joining us. He's also a farmer in South Dakota, the State President of the South Dakota Farm Bureau. Scott, let's talk about the one thing that has been somewhat overshadowed, but it's something that each of us live with on a daily basis, and that is the ag economy. And they've tried about everything to kind of boost it, but it kind of goes back to those, if we get the market built back up again, that goes a whole long way on Main Street.
Exactly, and that's one of the big things we've been dealing with the ag economy. First of all, you know, we've had a bad price situation to start with, and then almost 2 years ago now, the trade wars and the tariff disputes started, which piled onto it. And then for a couple of years, we've had trouble planting and harvesting, and it just hasn't been a good situation. A year ago, we had a record crop, so that added to the supply. So it's been a situation where everybody's really having to hang in there and adapt. Now, when we've had these tough conditions and the President did the market facilitation program, that certainly wouldn't have been our first choice as far as remedying the situation, but it is appreciated in the absence of trade agreements. And it's certainly going to help some people stay in business, whether it's young farmers that aren't real well capitalized or guys my age and older that are tired of seeing their equity disappear. It might keep us in business for another year and give some people some hope.
Let's do a little geography lesson. Let's talk about how things were on your farm and in South Dakota and then your neighbors to the north. We just continue to hear reports that they're ready for a new year, literally.
Yeah, we are too. We're looking forward to the end of 19, but the fact is this is going to last a long time. There's a weed seed load out there because on prevented planting land, a lot of us couldn't get those weeds controlled until August, so we disked them down, but they went to seed. There's wet spots, there's compacted areas. We haven't got much tillage done yet for next year, no fertilizing, so it's really going to have a long-term impact. And of course, the part that spread on this whole thing, it didn't just affect farmers and ranchers. It affected the fertilizer dealers, the seed dealers, the people that do custom work out in the fields and spray. It was a long-reaching effect through our entire economy, and it's going to take a while to recover from that. But having said that, farmers are resilient. We're optimistic. We wouldn't do this without that, just being by nature. So we look forward to a better year next year, and hopefully it'll come about.
And speaking of that, you're going to kick off a new year with your annual meeting.
Absolutely, down in Austin, Texas, about the third week of January. And we're looking forward to a great time there, not only celebrating the centennial like we talked about, but putting our policy in place for the next year where our members give us as leaders our marching orders for the coming year.
All right. Scott VanderWal, who is the Vice President of the American Farm Bureau Federation, has joined us. Stay with us. We'll have more in a moment.
Kansas Farm Bureau has served farm families in rural Kansas for more than 100 years. We're pleased to offer new health care coverage choices for Kansans in 2020 through Kansas Farm Bureau Health Plans. No matter what stage of life you're in, we'll have options that fit your lifestyle. Plus, our network of providers is one of the largest available throughout the state of Kansas and beyond. For more information, including the different plans available, or to get a quote, visit kfbhealthplans.com.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Daryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it and it worked. I'm not going to go out and dig trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities, and it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.
What if U.S. soybean meal were more than a commodity? If seed companies and the soybean checkoff built a better variety? That future is here. The time is now. To meet end-user demands, the soybean checkoff is investing in the compositional quality of soybeans, including meal. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Commodity Classic registration and lodging now are open online. Rooms book quickly, so register as soon as possible. The early bird deadline is January 9. The 25th annual event will be February 27 to 29 in San Antonio, Texas. The Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center will house most Commodity Classic events. Endorsed hotels are within walking distance or provide complimentary shuttles to and from the convention center. Registration and lodging should be arranged at commodityclassic.com on the web. To ensure favorable rates, reasonable terms, and confirmed rooms at the official Commodity Classic hotels, make your reservations through Experian. Full registration includes the opening reception, trade show access, the general and educational sessions, the American Soybean Association banquet, and the evening of entertainment. If you plan to attend the ASA Awards Banquet, sign up soon because it always sells out quickly. Beginning at 6 p.m. Friday, February 28, the 2020 event will include dinner, awards, entertainment, and ASA's 100th anniversary celebration. It is sponsored in part by the Soybean Checkoff. Established in 1996, Commodity Classic is America's largest farmer-led, farmer-focused convention and trade show. It is a production of ASA, the National Corn, Wheat, and Sorghum Farmers Associations, and the Association of Equipment Manufacturers.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if your cattle get out, you could be held liable for that? Call me. Let's have a discussion. 316-945-6733.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for that grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well on their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, and we're glad to answer and work with you.
Agriculture producers have faced significant challenges in recent years, resulting in increased focus in mental health issues in the agricultural community. In response, the Kansas Department of Agriculture worked with several Kansas Ag partners to create a new website to promote resources and support to those dealing with ag-related stress. The website can be found at kansasagstress.org. This site serves as a clearinghouse of many resources and services that are currently available to address the challenges that Kansas farmers, ranchers, and their families face in today's ag industry. Recent natural disasters, depressed commodity prices, and other issues weigh heavily on farm families and can take a toll that leads to mental and emotional distress, substance abuse, anxiety, and depression. Visitors to the website will be able to find local and national resources for those issues, as well as support in areas ranging from stress management to financial and legal challenges. KansasAgStress.org features resources and support for every member of the family, from teens to aging adults. Unique resources are also available to assist our farmer veterans who face the issues that come along with farming, along with the additional challenges of being a military veteran. As more tools are developed and become available, this website will be updated and will serve as a hub of current information and resources. Caring for your own health and wellness in this high-stress profession is often overlooked, but is just as critical as caring for your farm business. Our hope is that this website at KansasAgStress.org will be a positive resource for people struggling during difficult times. Together with our partners, the Kansas Department of Agriculture has made it a priority to provide support and assistance to Kansans battling ag-related stress and mental health concerns.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Hello, I'm Dr. Frank Lyons from Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center here in Manhattan, Kansas. Daryl was one of our patients that we did about 7 months ago.
I dug trees by hand for years and years and years. In the process, I wore out my rotator cuff. But when I learned about this process, I thought if there's a way to get rid of this pain, then I want to do it. So we did it and it worked. I'm not going to go out and take trees with a shovel anymore, but I can do the things that I want to do now.
Well, it's been very gratifying to help people with their painful joints and other entities, and it's been especially gratifying to be able to help people who I know and have worked with and known for many years.
The Kansas Department of Agriculture Division of Animal Health conducted an exercise December 16th through 18th to test the state's preparedness for a foreign animal disease outbreak. Kansas Livestock Association staff joined the Division of Animal Health and other state agencies, federal and local government officials, and a number of other industry organizations in the functional exercise that involved a simulated foot and mouth disease outbreak in Kansas. Department of Agriculture headquarters in Manhattan served as the incident command post for the exercise, with several Kansas counties activating emergency operation centers as well. The exercise involved scenarios requiring decisions about the permitted movement of animals and depopulation of livestock to stop the spread of highly contagious foot and mouth disease. The current U.S. vaccine bank contains only enough vaccine for a small confined foot and mouth disease outbreak. Preparation for a ready-to-administer vaccine currently would take weeks. Kansas leads the nation in foreign animal disease planning and training. Responding to a foot and mouth disease outbreak will require strong cooperation between government and private industry to stop the spread of the disease and return to normal business in the livestock industry as quick as possible.
Agriculture information on your computer or mobile device. News and views on grains, livestock policy, and opinions from newsmakers can be found by liking AgView on Facebook, and on Twitter, follow AgView News. A reliable and relevant source, agview.net.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Imagine turning soybean oil, used cooking oils, and waste animal fats into fuel so amazing it drives U.S. jobs and our economy forward. Learn more about biodiesel at americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Hi everyone, Zach Otot here with Paragon AG. The ag markets have been in the holiday spirit for the past few weeks as we have seen rallies across the grains. News regarding a Phase 1 deal with China being reached and the USMCA agreement finally being put into action pushed us higher. At this point, we need to continually see positive headlines in order to feed the bull market. If we can back into these trade headlines with improved export sales, we could see positivity remain. All eyes for the next few days will be on the USDA's harvested acreage report, which is set to come out January 10th. This will be the day the USDA takes the first swing at estimating just how much we raised this past fall. Every year this report is significant, but I think we can all agree that after a year like we saw, this year's report will have more hype around it. If we see reduced production on both beans and corn, and that's one big if, tie that back to the positive trade news, we could see a firework or two. Looking back on 2019, it's easy to say coulda, shoulda, woulda sold more during the summertime highs. But at the time, it wasn't easy to pull the trigger because there was a lot unknown yet. As Randy Travis once said, hindsight's 20/20, and when the market is up, you wish you hadn't sold any, and when it's down, you wish you'd have sold it all. We're likely going to see a rally at some point in 2020 due to a number of things. Too hot, too dry, too wet, trade, politics, China, who knows. But if it's anything like the last 5 years, the rally is going to come when we know the least about the crop, and you're going to be faced with making a decision. There are ways where we can do more at higher prices without locking yourself into a final physical commitment, so that come this time next year, it makes a difference. If you have questions about getting a jump on 2020 marketing, or still don't have a plan for 19's crop, give us a call here at Paragon Ag Advisors at 888-452-8751. I'm Zach Otot. Hope everyone had a Merry Christmas, and I want to wish you a Happy New Year.
Well, thank you for joining us for Authentic Ag. If you have questions or comments, send them to me, Ken Rahjes at gmail.com. Thank you for watching, and we'll be back next week at the same time for Authentic Ag. Have a great weekend.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agamandkansas.com.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if you're held liable in any type of accident, the judgment can claim your assets? Please give me a call so we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Agriculture information on your computer or mobile device. News and views on grains, livestock, policy, and opinions from newsmakers can be found by liking AgView on Facebook, and on Twitter, follow AgView News, a reliable and relevant source, agview.net.